This morning, the committee continues our focus on the growing threat of ISIS, and of course, the hearing takes on added significance, as yesterday the President requested that the Congress formally back military action against this jihadist organization, an organization which has beheaded Americans and which has sold and raped thousands of women in Syria. And this is not a new threat for the members of this committee. 1 year ago, this committee took testimony from one of the few administration officials then sounding the ISIS alarm. That was Ambassador Brett McGurk. He told us that that group's mission, that ISIS's mission was clear. As he said, they wanted to carve out a zone of governing territory that would run from Baghdad to Syria to Lebanon. And of course, at that point in time, we were seeing a situation where ISIS was just beginning to expand into towns in Syria. And members of this committee on both sides of the aisle called for airstrikes against ISIS so that they could not begin that process of expansion. Unfortunately, we went month after month after month, town after town, fell to ISIS across Syria and then across Iraq. Over the past 12 months, through a dozen hearings, we've seen the ISIS threat only grow. Now we have 3 American hostages dead, including Kayla Mueller. Not only have they been killed, but ISIS has beheaded 2 Japanese hostages and immolated a downed Jordanian pilot for the world to see. And this, again, is on top of what they've done in terms of raping, as I said, by now, tens of thousands of women across Syria and other minorities, killing their husbands, raping the wives and the daughters. This group occupies a vast territory. It holds an estimated $2 billion in assets. Now, I don't think there's ever been in history a terrorist organization as well funded as this terror group. ISIS has used the virtual caliphate on the Internet to recruit foreign fighters at an unprecedented rate. 20,000 foreign fighters from 90 countries now make up the ranks of ISIS. And according to intelligence estimates, this includes 3,400 from the West and more than 150 Americans on the ground fighting for ISIS today. Over the past year, this committee has pressed the administration to intensify and accelerate its response. Some pieces are being put together, but too slowly. Of a 60-member coalition, 85% of all the airstrikes are from U.S. fighter jets. And this air campaign isn't pummeling the enemy as it should. It is not intense enough. All of us were glad to see Iraq Prime Minister Maliki go. But with respect to reports of Shiite militias wreaking havoc, the jury is still out on the Abadi government's ability to field a competent and inclusive security force there. The training and equipment of Iraqi forces also continues to lag, and we aren't likely to see the 12 Iraqi brigades envisioned for several more months. Sunni tribal fighters are becoming more supportive of the national force, but the question is, will they be in it for the long haul? And after 6 months of fighting, the committee is still deeply concerned to receive reports that the Kurdish Peshmerga are outgunned on the front lines, occasionally running out of ammunition on the front lines, underarmed, under-equipped by the United States. This has to change. Last fall, Congress voted to authorize training and equipping the Syrian opposition forces. But that's still not up and running, and Assad looks more comfortable by the day. And of course, this has left key allies in the region distraught and questioning the administration's strategy, as many here do. Despite these problems, Kurdish forces on the ground and concentrated air support from coalition forces in the air helped take back Kobani. Some 6,000 fighters there were killed, ISIS fighters. The Kurds have shown tremendous bravery, and they deserve more and timely delivered aid to their cause of fighting ISIS. Jordan's tragedy is galvanizing the coalition. getting Jordan to step up its role in the air campaign and to commit thousands of troops to the border area with Iraq is a show of force. Last week, the committee met with retired General John Allen, the State Department's lead to counter ISIS, and pledged our support to get Jordan the equipment that it needs in this fight. The UAE has also recommitted fighter planes to Jordan. It is these Arab forces and voices that must be central in this fight, but they need to see and feel American leadership. I'm pleased that the President has formally requested that Congress act on an authorization for use of military force against ISIS. Now he needs to make the case to the American people and this committee as we work to examine this proposal in depth. This won't be easy, but I'm comforted by the fact that Ranking Member Engel and I are united in our desire to see bipartisan backing behind a proposal that ensures that the Commander-in-Chief have the authority needed to decisively defeat the enemy.